Now it's that time of the year again where I go and talk about Reddit. Last year we talked about the blackout because they cut off third-party API access and pretty much all apps, especially my favorite, Apollo, died. And, everyone was like, oh yeah, we're going to quit using Reddit. Reddit, it sucks now. When in reality, that was far from the truth. Everybody still kept on using Reddit because there's no other place to go to. There's something that people have not learned yet, especially Redditors, is that 9 times out of 10, the casual consumer base, the casual users, do not give two fucks about anything that a diehard, passionate group of people care about. Especially one thing that I think was actually a really great point that was brought up is typically a lot of the things that you see on like YouTube videos like mine or any other commentary channel that might get a shitload of views or that it's like, it seems like it's a very big and hot topic. Realistically, it's almost like an echo chamber. It's like a little bubble. YouTube is its own little space. What might be popping off there, might be a big deal there, doesn't necessarily equate to the actual casual consumer for anything in general. Point in case, AI. This is actually what this whole video is talking about, by the way, but AI is already been proven time and time again that the casual person does not give a fuck about AI or the harmful impact that it can do to jobs, industries, you name it. They don't care unless it affects them themselves. So you'll sit there and see, oh, well, AI is going to sit there and is going to be this tool that's going to be able to help elevate and achieve and do all this great shit. And it's going to be the greatest tool ever. And those same people, a year, 2 years later, they're going to be like, man, fuck AI. AI fucking sucks. And you'd be like, what's going on, bro? What's happening? They'd be like, my job's being replaced. I'm losing my job. Oh, word. Huh? I thought you said it was going to be a great tool. I thought he was going to do all this great, amazing shit. Now, don't get me wrong. Let me make this clear. I think AI can be really great for certain fields, especially medical. I think that is the greatest field and the most influential impact that AI can do so much good in. But other fields, I've already talked about in the past, music, art, now video, videography, all that shit. I can't even begin to start going on my rant with AI. Anyways, the reason I'm making this video is because yesterday news came out that Reddit is now going to be partnering with a unnamed AI company to sit there and now allow all the data on their website to be trained. And of course, because it's big news and it's something that I am passionate about covering things like this, I want to at least go over it so that you are aware of what's going on with it, and the chance that maybe you post stuff to Reddit and you don't want your stuff to, I guess, be scraped for AI, even though it doesn't really matter at this point because 9 times out of 10 it's probably already been scrapped anyway years ago. And the chance of you going back through there now and erasing everything and just removing your digital footprint is highly unlikely as well too. So it said right here, Reddit will let an unnamed large AI company have access to its users generated content platform in a new licensing deal, according to Bloomberg yesterday. The deal is worth about $60 million on an annualized basis. Now, something I didn't know was this part right here said, until recently, most AI companies train their data on the open web without seeking permission. I knew that part, but the parts I didn't know was what it said right here. But it's quite more than $5 million annual deal that OpenAI has reportedly been offering news publishers for their data. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think $5 million is pretty low, especially for a company like OpenAI and the shit that they're going to be doing with that and the stranglehold that they have on this marketplace. $5 million is chump change. Remember, we got to get back into the real world. With these companies, they're making billions of dollars. $5 million is chump change, especially when they're backed by Microsoft, dog. So I can sit there and see why no company would even want to take a $5 million deal, but I just found it interesting seeing that. It also says Apple has been seeking multi-year deals with major news companies that could be worth at least $50 million, again, which sounds more realistic. And another thing that I didn't really know that I found interesting was the news has also followed an October story that Reddit had threatened to cut off Google and Bing search crawlers if it couldn't make training data deal with AI companies. Now, that is something I could believe that. If you've ever used Google, especially in the current day and age that we are currently in, my God, Google fucking sucks unless you put Reddit at the end of it. If you want to look up anything at all, you have to be like, how to do XYZ, and then put Reddit at the end of it, or else you're going to find nothing on the entire web. You're going to scroll through endless pages, hoping that one of these, and you might as well call it AI generated websites at this point because they're all trash, but all these websites that don't actually give you any useful information for what you're looking for is literally Reddit, and Reddit is the only place for this shit. That is, first of all, why it's so hard to get rid of this fucking website. You can't just replace it off a whim because there's so much useful content that goes back a decade plus of things that is just like oh my God, this user found out a solution to my problem like 15 years ago. Let's fucking go. You know, you can't find that shit anywhere else. And that's also another reason why people put Reddit at the end of their search results, because the things that you find there, you can't find anywhere else. Now, one comment I keep seeing being brought up time and time again in regards to this situation is people saying, where's my money at? I'm going to get paid for my content. Dog, you're using a website for free. You literally pay to use the website with your data and your content. Now, again, most people don't read the TOS, myself included. I definitely don't be reading that shit. I think it's too long. And hey, you know what? Call me a moron, call me stupid. But let's be real here. I'm still going to use the website regardless of whatever the TOS says, unless it's like the most outlandish extreme shit that catches the eyes of all lawyers and people are like, hold the fuck up. Then yeah, maybe I'll be a little bit reluctant. But in Reddit's own TOS tells you right here, when your content is created with or submitted to the services, you grant us a worldwide royalty-free, perpetual, irrevocable, non-exclusive, transferable, and sub-licensable license to use, copy, and modify, adapt, prepare derivative works of, distribute, store, perform, and display your content and any name, username, voice, or likeness provided in connection with your content in all media formats and channels now known or later developed anywhere in the world. This license includes the right for us to make your content available for syndication, broadcast, distribution, or publication by other companies, organizations, or individuals who partner with Reddit. You also agree that we may remove metadata associated with your content, and you irrevocably waive any rights or assertions of moral rights or attributions with respect to your content. So again, the shit that you own, the shit that you post on Reddit is now theirs. Now, in terms of shit that you don't post on there that someone else might post, sure, that's a different argument. That is something that could be brought up. But let's face the fact here. There's so many subreddits and things that people take from artists that have been posted exclusively, let's say on Patreon, or, you know, things that YouTubers post, things that are meant to be private and not shared on things like Reddit, still go on Reddit anyway. So it's still going to be used to train that data anyway. I think that's a scary part about this is when it comes to a platform like Reddit, so much stuff gets posted there, especially without the consent of an artist or a musician or a YouTuber or whatever you might do in a creative field, that it's going to now be used to be trained with whether you like it or not. And that this whole circumstance that people point to as, oh, the TOS, it grants that they could do whatever they want with your content. And I mean, yeah, that's understandable. But what about the people who never posted their content there to begin with, but someone else posted it there anyways? I mean, now that content is being used without permission, and I'm curious how Reddit's going to navigate that legal battle, because I'm really curious if there's any legal ground for someone to actually do anything about that. Can, let's say, an artist go after Reddit, or would they have to go after the user who posted their artwork on Reddit that is now being trained with Reddit's partnership for AI? Can they actually go after the company, or would they have to go after a user? Now, if I had to make an educated guess, I would say Reddit would say, hey, you go after the user. They're the one who posted it, not us. We have nothing to do with that, and you can't expect us to sit there and moderate and look over after every single post to make sure it's from the actual creator themselves. That's the only logical argument I can see them making. But yeah, this is very interesting. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out again, because Reddit is pretty much like the bastion of all content. And now that they have an official partnership with a company to now use their data to be trained with AI, I don't know. Again, I'm not really too educated in this field, nor am I going to pretend like I am. I can only see that there's going to be probably issues coming down the line with this. I don't see this just being super simple and easy, but I could be wrong. I mean, up to this point, of course, as other users have pointed out, data has already been scraped and trained with AI, even without the permission. Now this is just Reddit making money off your data and everything on their website. And I don't know. Anyways, I just want to talk about this real quick because I find it to be a very interesting headline, and it's still something that is pretty concerning. As you may or may not know, I do art, I do music, I do obviously video content creation. So something like this and seeing content being trained for AI and things that I may or may not have wanted to post on Reddit at one point, this makes me not want to do it now. And I just wanted to bring this awareness for others, just in the case that maybe you did want to post on Reddit one day, but now your shit's going to be used for AI training, even though, of course, we all know no matter where you post it, it probably will be used for AI training anyway. But at least if you can do some form of way to try and prevent it, I mean, this is something. And I know for anyone who's an artist that's watching this and you want to bring up the tools, like I've heard about it already, Glaze and Nightshade. It's made by the same people, if I recall correctly. I don't really know much about it. I'm not going to sit there and peddle this and act like it's something that's worthwhile or worth using. Some people say it sucks. Some people say it's good. I couldn't really tell you, but this is supposed to be a way to sit there and fuck with AI so that it doesn't actually train off your image exactly, or at least steal your style. but I don't know anything about this. This is something that you would have to look into yourself and see if it's worth using. I'm not the one who's going to be able to tell you that, but I at least rather bring it up just so if you're curious to know if there's any, maybe a solution, I guess, you can look into this. But again, I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to really go and do a deep dive into it. Maybe one day in another video I might, but at the current moment, no. Anyways, you made this far into the video, consider giving a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below what you think. Have a great day. Yeah.